Hi guys! Today I'm thinking about the World Cup for the cost of living, part 2 of 3. We now move on to the second part of our cost of living World Cup. The first group today is Group D, which has a cost of living of $1,000 to $1,200 per month for a single person. The cost of living is also shown in pounds and euros. We then have Group E, which has a cost of living of $1,200 to $1,400 per month. Group F, which has a cost of living of $1,400 to $1,600 per month. And Group G, which has a cost of living per month of $1,600 to $1,800. It would be logical that as the cost of living increases, the countries will get more points, as a higher cost of living tends to go hand in hand with a more developed country and a higher quality of life. And also when the cost of living increases, crime tends to be lower in the country, and therefore the country has a better safety index score. But this is not always the case. There are some countries which have a relatively low cost of living, but high living standards. Some of these countries are to be found in the cost ranges shown in this video, as we are in the mid-range of cost of living. At the end of the table, a summary table is shown for the countries which progressed to the next round. 9 countries progressed to the knockout phase in part 1, and a further 12 countries will join them at the end of this video. The countries with the highest number of points and the winners of the group may surprise you. So just on the spreadsheet here, so we have Group D, where the cost of living range is between $1,000 and $1,200 per month. So we have the country, the average cost of living in dollar per month for a single person. And then we have the cost of living in pounds, the cost of living in euro, the population of the country, the Human Development Index figure, which is a figure out of 1.0, so 1.0 being the best, the quality of life score, which is out of 100, so 100 being the best, and the Freedom Index score, which is out of 10, so 10 being the best, the life expectancy in the country, the tax system of the country, the percentage of English speakers, the crime index score, so the lowest figure is the best, and it's out of 100 again, the safety index score, which is a figure out of 100, so the higher the figure the better, having more safety. And then we have the corruption index score, which is a figure out of 100, so the higher the figure the better, which represents the country's ability to fight corruption. And then we have the US News ranking, which is out of 100 for the 100 best countries in the world. So the Human Development Index column gets a green if it's over 0.7. The quality of life gets a green if it's 50 or over, and the Freedom Index column gets a green if it's over 6. The life expectancy gets a green if it's over 70. The tax system gets a green if it's territorial, and the percentage of English speakers gets a green if it's over 25%. And the crime index score gets a green if it's less than 60, and the safety index score gets a green if it's more than 50. The corruption index score gets a green if it's more than 40. So the first country on our list which has a high score is Taiwan, which has a score of 9 out of 10. and is the winner of the group after being assessed against all of the other countries which got a score of 9 out of 10. So the Human Development Index figure in Taiwan is extremely high at 0.938. The quality of life score is 83 out of 100, and the Freedom Index is 8.72 out of 10. The life expectancy is again relatively very high at 79.1. It's a territorial tax system. There's 25% of English speakers. The crime index score is 17, which is relatively very low. And the safety index score is 83. The corruption index score is 68, which again is very good. So the score is 9. And then we have Hungary, which also has a score of 9. And we have Japan, which also has a score of 9. And one more country got a 9, which was Latvia. So the winner of the group is Taiwan. So we then move on to Group E, which has a cost of living range of between $1,200 and $1,400 per month. So Lithuania has a score of 8, and Greece also has a score of 8. And then we have Bahrain, which has an 8 as well. Saudi Arabia has an 8. Costa Rica has an 8. And Slovakia has an 8 also. And Panama and Uruguay and Poland. So when assessing Greece against all of the other countries that got a score of 8, Greece is the winner of the group. So the HDI in Greece is 0.908. The quality of life is 74. The Freedom Index is 7.74. The life expectancy is 81.5. Percentage of English speakers is 50%. And the crime index score is 46.2, which means the safety index score is 53.8. The corruption index is 50, and the US News ranking for the best countries in the world gave Greece 36 out of 100. So in Group F, which has a cost of living range of $1,400 to $1,600 per month, we have the Czech Republic, which has a score of 9, and Estonia also gets 9. Portugal has a score of 9, and Kuwait has a score of 10, and Slovenia has a score of 9. So in Kuwait, the HDI figure is 0.852, and the quality of life score is 71. The Freedom Index score is relatively quite low, but still meets the grade with a figure of 6.18. The life expectancy is 83.2. There's a territorial tax system, 40% of English speakers, 32.6 on the crime index score, which means that the safety index score is 67.4, and the corruption index score is not the highest, but it does meet the criteria with 46. And the US News ranking gave Kuwait 61 out of 100. So Kuwait is the winner of Group F. And then we have Group G. So Finland has a score of 9. Malta has a score of 9. And Cyprus has a score of 9. And then we have France with 9. Sweden also with 9. Belgium with 9. And the last country to score a 9 is Germany. So when assessing Sweden against the rest of the countries which got a score of 9, Sweden is the winner. So we then come to the summary table, which shows the top 3 from each group. So for Group D, we have Taiwan, Japan, and Latvia. And then in Group E, we have Greece, Bahrain, and Lithuania. And in Group F, we have Kuwait, Estonia, and Slovenia. And then in Group G, we have Sweden, Germany, and Finland. So these are the countries that progress to the next round. So the outcome is that Taiwan is the winner of Group D, which has a cost of living range of $1,000 to $1,200 per month, and was the best rated of the 4 countries which had 9 points in the group. Greece is the winner of Group E, being the best rated out of the 9 countries which got 8 points. Kuwait was the winner of Group F, being the only country in the group to receive 10 points. And Sweden was the winner of Group G, being the best rated of the 7 countries in the group that had 9 points. The countries which go forward to the next round are the top 3 from each group, which were Taiwan, Japan, and Latvia from Group D. And in Group E, we have Greece, Bahrain, and Lithuania. From Group F, we have Kuwait, Estonia, and Slovenia. And from Group G, it's Sweden, Germany, and Finland. Okay guys, that was the World Cup for the cost of living. Part 2 of 3. I'll see you on the next one.